Life Audio.
Today I'll talk about that. John has no idea how ice hockey works and ponders if a cat could get elected mayor. Meanwhile, I wonder if a big butt helps you or hurts you with a hula hoop and tell you the creepy story of the first chiropractor. Plus, a conversation about oversimplification and why critical thinking is more rare than ever. Today's episode is not sponsored by stools when you need to sit down but also want lower back pain.
Jonnie, it's Bantertown time. Let's talk about that. Harder to say than you might think.
Why not Banter City? Banter...
I don't know if we're big enough. We're a small municipality, really. But town already was a stretch.
Unincorporated.
Right.
You ever been in unincorporated areas?
Oh, I've driven through many.
Man. They don't even have a water tower.
It makes me wonder, like, if you're with it enough to have a sign, maybe you are incorporated. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You're not a corporation, but to say unincorporated, but then to put a sign up is you're going a long way to say that we don't have anything, yet we have enough to have a sign.
I went to my buddy Josh Sneed. He did a show last night at Zany's, and we had lunch together. He worked with me when I was hosting, back in my hosting days at Side Splitters, Knoxville, 2010 or 11. So I was brand new. Going there,
just a babe.
Going to Knoxville for $25 a show.
Wet behind the ears.
Hosting. And he had his Comedy Central Presents out. And so I really liked his comedy. So it was cool to get to work with him. And he was so nice. But anyway, we hadn't crossed paths since then, but we touched base on Instagram and stuff. And he remembered me, which was really cool. But we had lunch yesterday. And then he said, come to the show. Well, anyway, one of his jokes last night was about doing shows in tiny towns. He goes, I did shows in a town that was in the South, and they had elected a dog the mayor four terms in a row, a different dog. He goes, that means that somebody along the line, he goes, that town's older than 4 generations. That means somewhere along the line, like somebody lost to a dog. How bad are you at politics?
Right.
They're like, you know what, we're going to give Pickles a chance.
Right. You know what, Bob, you're out. Pickles.
I want to see.
Wow.
I want to see what Shelton has. Yeah, it's a whole different thing. But yeah, so that's true. Like what's funny is we have somebody that runs for some city council thing, and she's run twice. I think it's a woman, and she has her big dog in the photos on the thing. And I bet it gets her votes. I bet it's like, look at that dog. Because you kind of sort of go, first of all, you think, even if it is her, not that I think it's the dog, but I'm saying, even if it is really just voting for her, you go, well, she has a dog. She must be a good person.
Right. You don't see anybody ever send them out with their cats.
Right.
They might lose you votes. I mean, no offense to everyone listening.
No.
But.
Yikes. Norm Macdonald has a special called Hitler's Dog, and the whole idea is like Hitler had a dog that loved him. Even though he's this monster, he had a dog that he had a dog. That dog probably was like, loved him.
That's a pretty good guy.
Yeah. Felt like
I'm always excited to lick his tiny mustache. Right. Yeah.
What a weird thing to think about, but it's true.
Yeah.
Norm
Macdonald.
I don't know how we got into that, but here we are.
Guys, that's our show.
I am,
Jonnie, I feel like
the need for speed,
that you are traveling more. And I know people don't want to hear all about travel all the time.
No.
But this is a little excessive now.
It's getting out of hand to the point where I told you today, I was like, I need to start blocking off some chunks of the calendar, which is a great problem to have, I guess. When you started doing comedy, you're like, I just want to be busy.
Right.
And now it's like, we've gotten really busy. This was the second weekend this past weekend was the second weekend of the Live and Laughing tour, which is my bus tour.
Right.
We're doing these big churches, and Curry gets to come along. She's tentatively like, sure. And, we got the little back cabin in these buses. So we have a little privacy, but it's still, and we're right over the wheel. So it's so funny, like trying to sleep when the bus is moving. Like you're not.
Yeah, I thought about that.
There was a couple times where I was like, are we driving through a field? Like, what are we doing?
You know what you need? You need almost like a makeshift square, almost like trampoline. Something that gets off the floor.
Its own suspension?
Yeah, so that it's suspended above so that it doesn't.
I'll bet you this has already been thought of and disproven by somebody who rides in a bus all the time. Somebody's already thought like, I'll build my own suspension system within the bus.
Yeah. Maybe not though.
I don't know. Like with a zero gravity chamber or something?
Yeah, somehow that the road, because you are over a double axle.
Yeah.
Right? So,
and I'm performing a double axel, which is going to be huge with the East German judges.
I tell you.
A triple sow cow, if you will.
By the way, we haven't talked about the fact that the
triple sow cow sounds like a horrible medical experiment gone wrong
of
like animal husbandry.
Yeah.
We've made a triple sow cow.
Run!
Flee in terror.
We haven't talked about the fact that the USA women's and men's hockey teams won gold.
It was a great moment, and what's wild is the men were playing against a superior team. They just had a hot goalie. Like, the shots on goal were insane.
Yeah.
I think the Canadians had 42 shots on goal to our 27 or something.
Yeah.
And some of those blocks that guy did were insane. It was like Jedi.
Yeah.
He just reaches back and last second deflects it.
Ugh.
And we got hot. We had a hot goalie, and then in the overtime period, we just got a freak play where it was 3-on-3 in overtime in the Olympic rules, which a lot of people don't like. But eventually you got to get to the end of the game.
Right.
So,
what was the final score?
2-1. 2-1 in overtime.
Again, I'm going to be that guy.
You think these goals should count 7 points? People would be more interested.
Maybe if you had 7, so the first one goes for 6, and then you get a free shot in the goal for an extra, or you can go with the goalie for 3. Again, think about it.
Hockey's a very popular sport, John.
No, I'm not. I'm not besmirching hockey.
You said besmirching?
Besmirching.
Besmirching.
I'm not besmirching hockey. I just
you made up a word.
I'm besmirching the English language.
Yeah.
No, I just think.
Yeah.
I always prefer sports that have a little more scoring. With the final score is 0-0 or whatever, I'm like, man.
Well, it can't be in a gold medal match, of course.
Right.
They would keep
but it could be in a regular match, right?
No. Well, no. They always have overtime. So you have 3 scores. You have win, loss. I guess there is a tie. No. Win, loss, overtime, loss. I think they go until you have a win or a loss.
Maybe in the Olympics they probably do, but I think in the...
Do they? Win, loss, tie, overtime, loss?
Can't you tie in the NHL?
Maybe.
Ooh.
What do they do? They just send you home? We need to look that up because we're going to get people screaming at this.
No, I like this. Let's leave it. Let's leave it hanging out there.
Hang
Guys,
on.
if you're feeling enraged right now...
Can NHL games result in a tie? I'm asking the phone here. I don't want to know the NHL schedule.
Do you want me to ask Claude? Because you don't know what you're doing over there.
Yeah, do something.
You told me, by the way, that you have no idea about AI, and we have a lot of work to do.
Do you think this podcast would be more successful if we relied on AI more?
No. Listen, you have to know...
You're like, nothing could make this thing more successful.
We are...
pinnacle of what have you.
Here we go. Watch this. Watch this. Do NHL games go into ties? Dang it. I said it right. Can NHL games
How do I
tie?
How do I tie a tie? The wins are not. It's going to give you a. Good grief.
That was not.
Yeah, you're going to educate me.
I'm the one with artificial intelligence. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. No, they cannot. Since 2005-6 season, every regular season game must have a winner.
Yeah.
See, that's what's wrong with America, man.
So you
all have a winner.
So there's still 3 scores though in your record though. Okay, so there's 3 numbers in your record. There's win, loss, overtime, loss. So overtime losses count differently. So it's almost like a tie. So overtime losses are a little bit, I don't know how it works, but
there's no way to know. We've already asked AI all that we can ask it.
I'm telling you, if you're a hockey fan, you've already turned this off and you've decided never to download it again.
We are done.
But I will say it was a moment of pride, even though, the U.S. or whatever is like, I don't feel this whole like acrimony towards Canada. Like, good grief. Come on, it's Canada. But I will say like Canada considers themselves like the hockey country. So if you beat them at their own game, it'd been 46 years since we won the gold in hockey. It's wild.
Yeah.
The women have won way more recently than the men. Last time the men won was Miracle on Ice. That's how long. Do you believe in miracles?
Yes, I do.
Al Michaels. God, what a legendary call.
Yeah.
What a legendary call.
Yeah.
Anyway, congrats to the U.S. Men and women. And are we the greatest country in the world?
By the way, if you have complaints about our episode so far, how would you send those to us, Johnny?
Hello at talkaboutthatpodcast.com. Also, if you go to talkaboutthatpodcast.com, just the last part, that's where you find all of our archived episodes. Almost 400 episodes for you to choose from and just have that nice spring break trip coming up and just binge to your heart's delight.
And if you're never going to listen again, send an email to goodbye
at talkaboutthatpodcast.com. .com. I still want people to send me some street jokes, like some old jokes. What's your favorite old joke that you tell in your family? Not a dad joke, but some like a story joke or something. Because I'm still always looking for content for a joke about that. So
I told a dad joke this morning.
What did you tell?
I wouldn't say it landed great.
Does your family ever laugh at you?
Yes.
Like mocking you, but I'm saying, like, do they ever go, ha ha, Dad's funny?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay.
This was more like, I don't know, what was it? I think I made something I wrote in Rick Roberts' class.
Mm-hmm.
Something about, I thought about buying some ancient armor, but it really wasn't my strong suit. You know, that's about what I got.
That's brutal.
And then I said, oh, if Jonnie would have said it,
no,
you'd all be freaking out. And Laura goes, if Jonnie would have said it, everyone would wonder why he's a professional comedian. Anyway, you were a part of our life this morning.
Strong suit.
Guys, it's not my strong suit.
I'm known as a great sumo wrestler in certain circles. All right, let's move on.
See, now,
this is where we move on, John, to the ad portion of the show. Let's hear from a few of our fine sponsors.
flawless transitions here to talk about that.
I want to say, too, though, if you're interested in coming to one of my shows, we have dates popping up every day. It feels like we're adding new cities. But I am in Tulsa, Oklahoma, March 8th this weekend at the Looney Bin, which is a comedy club. These comedy clubs got real whimsical names in the first boom, you know.
The Looney Bin.
The Chuckle Hut, the Laugh Bucket.
The Laugh Bucket.
The Laugh Stop. There's a lot of those. Zanies was a big one, you know. Zanies has clubs here in Nashville and in Chicago area. But anyway, I'll be at the Looney Bin, Tulsa, on March 8th. Come see get those tickets. That one is close to a sellout, so you left, though.
Do you remember when we first met, something you told me about that if you were ever going to open up your own psychic reading location,
right?
What you would call it?
The Happy Medium.
Yeah. So if you were open a comedy club, what would you call it? I wonder.
I don't know.
Gut Busters. I mean, I don't know, like...
Ooh, Gut Busters.
Gut Splitters. Side Split. There's already a Side Splitters.
Is already there.
But that's graphic.
Gut Busters sounds like the food is going to be...
Right, like you ate at Crystal or something.
We serve sliders.
Sorry, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Maybe they are, though. Wouldn't that be awful? That'd be awkward.
I do like a good sack full of Crystals every once in a while.
Every now and again you do. You crave them, and then you immediately go, what am I doing?
Why did I do that? But and
I got to get to the restroom.
Yeah, that's anyway.
Anywho.
Fun times. Hey guys, it's that time.
Oh,
yeah, it's my segment. It's one we call "They Talked About That." I actually shared this in my sermon on Sunday. We're doing a series called "The Verses."
Mm-hmm.
So it's about Proverbs. So the fool versus the wise is the general. But that's not, like, we all want to be like, that guy's a fool. But the truth is, circumstantially, scenario-based wise, Proverbs would say that you can be foolish in one part of your life, and you can be wise in another. It all depends on how you show up. So we're always in process.
We've all been the fool.
Yeah. So like it's easy to be someone who's like, you know, maybe you're wise in relationships, but foolish in money. Or maybe you're foolish in the way that you react in anger, but you're wise in the way that you have empathy towards others. So like, it's, you know, we all want to be one thing, and that's just not really how it works. And so Proverbs would say that. So you have these two things that are versus one another. And I was talking about the simple versus the anchored.
Okay.
And so the Proverbs talks a lot about the simple person, which sounds very insulting to us. So I really went through like what that means in the scripture, which it talks about being naive and gullible, but it also talks about it being intentionally uninformed.
Oh, sure.
So like I'm choosing here not to challenge or to question. And as we talked about the idea that anything, like you don't have to be insecure about the things that are worth believing that are strong, they need to be scrutinized.
Right.
And it's okay to let them stand without just la, 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 you know, covering your ears and remaining intentionally simple-minded about something by not hearing another side to it. Mm. So let the right thing be the right thing regardless. So anyway, you can always hear those, by the way, at church@pleasantgrove.com if you wanted to hear something from Sunday.
Do it, guys.
Yeah. But I quoted Dietrich Bonhoeffer, which he wrote this in letters from prison. So he's in prison before he dies. And he's talking about, this is just interesting, this exact kind of, a person who's caught in this exact kind of foolishness. He says, in conversations with him, one virtually feels that one is dealing not at all with him as a person, but with slogans, catchwords, and the like that have taken possession of him. He is under a spell, blinded, misused, and abused in his very being. Having thus become a mindless tool, the foolish person, and the definition here in German, would be one with ideological dependence and blindness. That kind of person will also be capable of any evil, and at the same time incapable of seeing that it is evil. You can talk about somebody as a front row seat for that kind of thinking. He's actually going to lose his life from that. But I think that what we don't always see is the downstream effects of being unwilling to hear more than one side. And I made the joke, about something I saw on Instagram of how back in the 90s, we had this crazy, y'all are going to think it's nuts, but this crazy thing that we used to do. And I wouldn't even know if people today would freak out about it, but it was called critical thinking.
Yeah.
And that is that we would listen to more than one side and then try to weigh them based upon their merits and not just hear the one side that we wanted to hear the most. Yeah. But the simpler those, and I think we all do it, it's just simpler. And I talked about why we do it. I think we do it because it creates a false sense of both safety and rest.
Yeah.
It means like I don't have to deal with that worrisome idea that maybe there's something here I'm not seeing. I don't have to keep looking. I don't have to keep digging. What's the purpose of digging anymore since I already know what's under there?
Yeah.
So I don't actually go and look for it. And then I just think we're tired. So it lets me have rest. I stop being intellectually engaged on the issue now so I can rest.
Yeah, we're the most, overexposed to information generation that's ever been until the next one, which will be,
right.
It's like a fire hose coming their way. But we know everyone's opinion around us, every family member. We know every political opinion. We know, I remember when the first Gulf War happened and we could see like missiles going over into other countries. It was a televised war, 24 hours a day. And even then people were like, this is doing something to us. You knew, like, this is going to make things weird, and it did. But now it's just like, people watch murders on Twitter now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We just know too much. And so, like you said, as a defense mechanism against that, we have to protect ourselves by trying to make the world feel simple. And so we oversimplify very complicated things. And what that does to me is it otherizes people. It makes,
right.
there's an out group that is, we've drawn the circle now.
Yeah.
I've figured it out. If you don't get it, you're other. And so that's simpler, but it also gives us what we have.
Yeah, I told them I had a conversation with someone, and I won't say the exact words, but I said a few things, and they go, "Oh, you sound like A," and they labeled me something I'm not. And I was like, "Interesting. So you think anyone who has this minor idea must fall into this major category,
right,
without any of the other considerations for all the other things you already know about me?"
Yeah.
And I think, again, those things you could insert. You sound like a right-winger. You sound like a liberal. You sound like a, whatever. I mean, so how fast it is that label simplifies.
Yeah, that's how stereotypes take hold, and how labels they're like time savers for people.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I can put you in this box. It makes you bite-sized for me. I can just be done. We can either decide to move on with our friendship or not based on this thing it's like I put a little sticker on you.
Well, I confess, speaking of stickers, that I have to fight. Sometimes I'll see a bumper sticker and it will promote something that I do not agree with or believe in.
Yeah.
And it is hard for me not to make, derogatory inward sort of conclusions, like roll my eyes, huff a little bit at that quote unquote person, as opposed to just,
right. That is it. That inward battle of like, coming to conclusions about people who also have the image of God. Like if we believe, that maybe someone else is participating in dehumanizing language, but now your temptation is to dehumanize them.
Yeah.
Because they're participating in that.
What's hard, though, is certain things, and I think this is where the tension is, there are certain things that cross a line in society to the point that their very way of doing it shuts down, again, critical thinking and co-mutual conversation. Meaning, like, you can't negotiate with terrorists, right?
Yeah.
If their goal is to blow you up, you're not in good faith in a conversation. You can't ever know if you can trust. And I think there are certain ways of being, if a certain ideology is for the purpose of hating, for the purpose of only dunking, only putting down, and basically, if you can ask people like, hey, is there anything I could say right now that would cause your opinion to be different on this? If they go, doesn't matter what it was, I don't care, I would never, then we're not in good faith. There's no, like, at that point, I don't need to dehumanize you. Also, I'm not going to get us anywhere through the methods that I believe in. And I think that's where a lot of people today struggle, because then you end up being silent when you don't want to be. You should be speaking out. I feel this way about social media. I'll just confess that. There's a lot of things I could say on social media, a lot of things. And, it's not because, everybody's got their research, everyone's got their things. I really try to read a lot of articles about the actual things, or read the actual speeches someone made or whatever. And yes, I have social media as well, but I'm trying to let it be my primary source. But like, and I want to be a part of the grander conversation, right? I want to affect change. Maybe that could help people if we talked about it. At the end of the day, I know that's not a medium in which that's going to be received. It's just going to echo into someone's chamber, whether they want to hear it, or echo into their chamber, as now we all know that John is X, right?
Yeah.
And
farewell, John.
Yeah. Rest in peace. And so, like, there's this, for me, that's one of the reasons we started the podcast, is to actually be able to have real long-form conversations. And I think sermons are the other way for me. Like, hey, not many people are going to hear this, but this is the right time for us to search the scriptures on it. And the sermon for me is, there's an idea that I need to be true to that calling, right? I don't need to just take off my gloves and start punching here. This is supposed to be the gospel. And so that causes me, and that's what the gospel's supposed to do. It forces me then to not take just what I want to say, but to try to find out what Jesus actually says, right? And try to make that the content of the gospel. So I know that's not what you do when you preach, but for me, it's about what Jesus says, Johnny. And I think
I'll work on it.
Yeah. Well, that's why we called you here today.
I'll do better.
So,
John, let's do my segments to wrap up the show. Let's start with old jokes. Call a joke about that. John, a guy is out golfing with his buddies. One of them says, Bob, you're 60. You're not exactly Brad Pitt, and your new bride is 25. Gorgeous, funny, the whole package. How did you pull that off? Bob shrugs and says, I told her I was 85. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because, if you're 60, but you tell,
right.
Like Nate has a joke on one of his specials years and years ago that said he's out of shape. But what he's been doing is telling people that he used to weigh 300 pounds. He goes, because I don't look good, but I look really good for a guy who used to weigh 300 pounds. And that's someone who used to weigh 300 pounds. He's right. It is a good gimmick. John, a husband, is talking to his friend about the vacation he and his wife just got back from. Oh, you should have seen this place. It was absolutely gorgeous. Where did you go? Well, it had this beautiful beach just outside the hotel. The sand was almost bright white. But what was the place called? It had a huge swimming pool, a spa, and everything. Yeah, but what was the name of the place? Hang on, it's just the tip of my tongue. Something flowery. Name a flower. Rose? No, not rose. Something else. Tulip? No, keep going. Lily? Lily, that's it. Turns to his wife. Hey, Lily, what was the name of that place? That's so stupid. It's like an old vaudeville sketch in that one. That's definitely an old joke.
Who's on first kind of.
Finally, John, I was getting a haircut the other day, and the barber kept asking me the same question over and over. As he's cutting my hair, he says, so how's your mother-in-law doing? I shrug and say, she's fine. 5 minutes later, he asks, how's your mother-in-law? Now I'm getting annoyed. I answer, I told you, she's fine. A few minutes after that, he asks yet again, how is your mother-in-law doing? I finally snap, dude, I already told you twice, she's fine. Why do you keep asking about my mother-in-law? He chuckles and says, oh, don't worry, it's not because I actually care. Every time I mention your mother-in-law, your hair stands straight up, and it makes it a lot easier for me to cut. That wouldn't apply to you.
No,
for two reasons. You love your mother-in-law, and
I don't have any hair.
Come on, y'all. Let's do This Week in History, John. We call it Talk About Then. John, this week, 1989, Michael Anderson Godwin, a convicted killer, once sentenced to the electric chair, accidentally electrocutes himself to death while sitting naked on a metal toilet, repairing a set of earphones connected to a plugged-in TV set. Sentenced to the electric chair for murder, Godwin got his sentence overturned and appealed on appeal and commuted to life imprisonment. He was spared the electric chair only to die on an electric toilet seat.
Unbelievable.
That's one of those like,
dude,
what? You can't. That's one of those like ball don't lie situations,
right.
maybe.
We said
you may have been commuted, but you didn't. Did you get commuted?
No, if we did. I
electrocommuted. John electrocommuted. Okay.
There's bad calls all the time in volleyball.
Yeah.
And so the next play, something happened, and people will say, the ball don't lie. And I'll lean out and go, guys, the ball lies all the time. Yeah. So let's not, I think it's just a big coincidence that this guy got electrocuted on the toilet.
Could be. And be careful when you're repairing your own headphones, I guess.
Yeah.
Now it would be Bluetooth, so there's no way you could really.
That's true.
You couldn't.
You can't get, maybe a little shock.
It's a man ahead of his time. John, this week, Adam Rayner died in 1950. The reason he makes the list is he was an Austrian dwarf/giant. I had no idea of this guy's history. Okay, so this is wild. At age 18, he was only 4 feet and 1/4 inch tall, qualifying him as a dwarf. Then, a sudden growth spurt, probably due to a pituitary tumor, caused him to reach a height of 7 foot 2 inches by age 32. By the time of his death at age 51, he had reached a height of 7 foot 8 inches, thus making him the only known person to have been both a dwarf and a giant. However, sudden growth left him with a host of health problems, making it difficult for him to stand. So he went from a dwarf to a giant in...
How many years did he live?
He lived to be 50.
Wow. He still lived to be 50.
Yeah.
Because I would think that would take a real toll on the old body.
That's what it basically says at 50. Yeah.
So he lived a life as
That's
a dwarf
something
and a
else. The closest thing I can remember to that would be, other than I used to watch Ripley's Believe It or Not all the time as a kid with Jack Bell. Ripley's Believe It or Not. That guy, remember that show?
Yeah.
Okay. But then I remember, like, when I was a kid, I was a fan of the NBA my whole life. And the Washington Bullets, when I was a kid, what a horribly named team. They changed their name when Washington, D.C. was the murder capital of the U.S. They were like, maybe Bullets. Let's go with Wizards. How about Wizards?
No.
Now it's the witchcraft capital. No, it's not. But the Washington Bullets, when I was a kid, had the tallest and the shortest player in NBA history on their team at the same time. They had Muggsy Bogues, who was 5 foot something, 5'2", and Manute Bol, who was 7'6" or 7 at the time. And at the same time, they always posed for pictures together, and it was a wild sight to see them in a picture together, obviously. But a dwarf and a giant in the same life. That's
it feels like a book.
Yeah, wow, I can't believe you've never heard the story.
Yeah,
Adam Rayner.
My Great Big Little Life.
Yeah, wait, John, you need to
come on.
This needs to be a project.
I think you
need to drop whatever else you're doing. Get on it.
Already done. I just sent an email to my agent. I quit.
You're going to get sued by the families of this person. Okay, John, the hula hoop was patented this week, 1963. Were you able to do a hula hoop? Could you
do a hula hoop.
You could get it going
for a minute. Yeah.
I could never get it going. I don't know what it is.
Dude, my daughter could go for like 35 minutes.
Maybe that's I got no rhythm. You got the
blues though.
That's the thing. You would think like I've got kind of a big butt. Like you would think the big butt would keep it going, but meanwhile your daughter's so thin and she's able to just
maybe you don't put it on your butt, maybe you put it on your hips there, big guy.
You do, but I'm saying like you would think like my hips would help keep it from
down here in my thigh. You know what, Johnny?
1957, John, Joan Anderson brought back a bamboo exercise hoop, quote, from Australia. So this was already a thing. The exercise hoop was already a thing, and she called it a hula hoop after the motion used by Hawaiian dancers. Her husband showed it to Arthur Spud Mellon of Whammo, and they agreed on a gentleman's handshake they would share in any profits. However, the company would cut them out of the deal, and they got nothing. This feels like a
Whammo's right.
Hoop don't lie situation because they technically took it because it was already an exercise hoop from Australia. They come here and be like, we call it a hula hoop. Did you change anything? No, it's just a round circle of plastic. Theirs was probably made of bamboo.
It's kind of like a complete boomerang. It just keeps going around the person. That was the whole. They called it a booma hoop. Is what they called it in down under.
The fad for the toy began in July 1958 with 25 million plastic hoops sold in less than 4 months.
And they probably cost a penny.
More than 100 million units sold in 2 years. Mellon later claimed he invented it and applied for a patent in 1959, which was granted March 5th, 1963. Again,
the Whammo guy?
Yeah, this feels, let's see. Mellon claimed the patent, even though he hadn't invented it, and the other guy took it from Australia.
Ugh.
This is almost like that thing for, you ever watch The Founder, the McDonald's guy, and how it was kind of shady, the beginnings of McDonald's?
Yeah.
I mean, this feels like that, where you're like, all right, dude. I mean, I know that's the thing, too, about when you're supposed to be pro-big business.
Yeah.
There's no referee. It's just like, well, look, the market decides. Does it, though? There's all kinds of ne'er-do-wells in the mix.
Gotta have some integrity, guys.
Come on, guys. How about some ethics here? John Leather Burbank. Not Leather. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got to get these glasses prepared. I got to get my contacts in. Luther, John.
My name's Leather.
That would be a great. I'm naming a child. If I ever have a child, which the odds are really low
it's
right now.
It's not looking good for you, though. But.
Luther Burbank, John, was born this week, 1849. He was an American naturalist. He created hundreds of new breeds of flowers, plants, and trees, including the russet Burbank potato in 1873, which launched the Idaho potato industry. So this is the father of potatoes as GMOs, meaning he kind of constructed a new potato that had dark brown skin and few eyes. So that's what it was all about, because a lot of these potatoes would come out, you're like, you got to cut them all out. There's a lot of damage to the potato as far as the edible portion of it, I guess. It's the most widely grown potato in North America. Still, it is good for baking, mashing, and French fries. So we have Luther Burbank to thank for those delicious French fries that you love so much. I think you can hardly count a potato as a vegetable at this point. The way we eat them, it's covered in butter, salt, it's fried. It is
delicious.
When people go, well, I had my veggies. Did you? That's not.
No, I don't think anyone counts potatoes as veggie. It
is a vegetable, but
what's your favorite kind of French fry?
I like a good shoestring that's fresh cut and then put in peanut oil. Like if they used to have those. Remember those Steak Escape fries that you get at the mall? Remember
yes. Okay, yes, I like those.
And
or like Charlie's
steak sandwich company, whatever.
Well, those are kind of the same kind of fries they have at Five Guys.
Yeah, Five Guys. Yeah. So Five Guys would be the more our broader audience would know them. Five Guys.
I like Five Guys fries a lot. I think,
and they give you a lot of them.
Oh, they fill. Don't
ever go to Five Guys and order a regular or large. What are you doing with your life?
Well, we'll do it for the whole family. But
even if you get a small, it's a pound and a half.
Yeah. But it's hard for me to beat a good crinkle cut, too.
That's true. We talked about that the other day, about how it can hold the salt. It holds enough ketchup to get the sauces on there.
And I like a good waffle, too.
They hang on there. It's like having a big butt with a hula hoop. It hangs on to all the sauces and the salt.
It's just like that.
Yeah, it's not, because it's counterintuitive, because hula hoop just drops to the ground when I can't.
Johnny.
You would think so. You'd seen me dance. I'm a great dancer.
I couldn't believe it. I've seen the rhythm.
Maybe I need to involve a potato of some kind.
I don't.
John, finally, this week, Daniel David Palmer was born. A lot of births and deaths on this episode. I apologize to be morbid. But he was born. We celebrate his birth here. He was the founder of chiropractic. And this is why he makes the list. He's Canadian-born, American, magnetic healer. So that's weird. Founder of chiropractic treatment in 1895. Palmer claimed to have received chiropractic from the other world via a deceased physician named Dr. Jim Atkinson. So if you thought chiropractors were quacks before, now that I tell you this, that the guy who invented it said, I heard about it from the other world, from a dead guy. He believed that the human body had natural healing power transmitted through the nervous system, and that if any one organ was affected by an illness, it was merely not receiving its normal, quote, nerve supply, which he dubbed a, quote, spinal misalignment or subluxation. Now, listen, I think chiropractic has a use in our culture, but also you always meet these people who think that everything is cured by an adjustment. It's almost like the oils people. Yeah. Oils may have a use, but like people that go like, I use these oils, and Dustin Nickerson has a bit like, I found my biological father. Thanks, elderberry, or whatever. So yeah, there's limits. And now that I know that he discovered it by, some weird conjuring.
So Sadie goes to chiropractor for all her shoulder and
you
back
believe
stuff
in
from
it.
playing. Yeah,
crack you.
But am I sending her if she has strep throat? No, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that, we treat ourselves.
With some other elderberry.
That's right. Here's some bleach. No. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's, when I was...
It's all things in moderation, right? Isn't that
correct.
what we
It's both
kind of-
ends.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I'd have been way more like traditional medicine. My wife worked in the ER and all the things. And I think we're both kind of the place of, yes, traditional medicine, yes, especially for emergencies.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of homeopathic or a lot of chiropractic or other things that could be beneficial to you in a holistic way.
I was always of the opinion of like, if you're in a mall and somebody is giving away something free, if you'll just fill out a survey with a clipboard that he's holding, I'm immediately suspicious.
Right.
And that's what chiropractors did for years and years. I mean, I don't know if they still do it, but like for decades, they'd be in the mall.
Yeah.
Hey, you with the hunch. I've got a hunch we can help you.
Hello.
Hey now. My buddy used to have a bit about scoliosis. He would be like, scoliosis feels like it would feel a lot more whimsical if it had an extra ole. Like if your doctor's like, you've got scoliosis. You'd be like, well, that doesn't sound so bad. Anyway, shout out to Gary Fletcher, it's a great joke.
That's funny.
It's true. You do need an extra ole and you'd be okay.
Yeah. Scolioly
oxen-free. Anyway, that's it for the history, John.
That was good.
Yeah.
It was very informative today. It is an educational podcast.
We give you some laughs. We give you some learning. We give you some literature.
A little Bonhoeffer today.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's a good day.
Yeah.
So I didn't try to pronounce any of the German words.
You did the right thing.
I don't do German well.
It sounds harsh. It's very
right to us.
Very harsh.
And
language.
that was like someone's wedding vows or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like,
Do you take this man? It's like, ooh, shouting.
I don't know if I do.
I don't know if I do.
Yeah. So, hey guys, thanks for always being a part. You should check out more episodes at talkaboutthatpodcast.com. Send us an email as always to hello@talkaboutthatpodcast.com. And as always, you should go to Johnny W's website, JONNIEW.com, where he would love to see you at a show. He would love it.
Many shows.
He would love it.
Live and Laughing Tour. Go to my website, JohnnyW.com, or awakeningfoundation.com. That's where you can find just those tour dates, where it's going to be me and a couple other comics on the old bus tour.
How do people not know that it's live and laughing?
Live and Laughing.
How do that know? How do they supposed to know the difference?
Laughing is living, John. That's
what
how
I'm
I
saying.
feel.
What if I come and I want it to be live and laughing? Will I be turned away at the door?
Dead and weeping. Dead and weeping tour. Just wander
That's
the earth. Wander
it's
the
across
earth.
the street.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's if we can't sell tickets. We just
We're at the Dead and
like,
Weeping
sorry
Tour.
about that.
Well, guys, it was a lot of fun, man. Thanks for all the times. It really means a lot to us that you guys join us as we approach, by the way, episode 400. So thank you guys for going on the journey with us. Let's do the part of the journey again next week, Johnny. Here on
Talk About That.